Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Dave Yosa. I'm president of the Managed Service Providers Association of America. Today, we are here at the CompTIA ChannelCon out in Atlanta. It's about 20 minutes before the expo hall opens, and we wanted to take this moment to introduce one of our MSPs. Great guy. He was out with us having dinner last night. Ed, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me, Dave. I appreciate it.
No problem. So, Ed, you're an MSP, and you're from 215 Tech, correct?
That is correct. 215 Tech out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City, awesome. I think our CMO works out of there as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So 215 Tech. So I know a lot of people say, well, what is a managed service provider? Very briefly, in your own terms, what is it that you guys do?
So we're a little bit of a differentiator. We're Apple consultants.
Okay.
And we lead by helping our customers grow with Apple as their preferred platform.
What does that mean exactly? So when you say lead and grow with Apple products, does that mean tech support? Does that mean software support? What does that mean exactly?
That means we're doing the tech support, taking them through an experience of using Apple to grow their businesses, right? By leading into the IT super services that we deliver.
Do you find a lot of people are using Macs?
We do find a lot of people using Macs, particularly in different industries that work outside of the norm.
So we have a lot of people, and Windows is obviously a competitor of Mac, right? A lot of people are going to say, well, okay, great, you support Mac, but what about Windows?
But we also do support Windows. We lead with Mac, but we do support many hybrid environments.
Okay, so let me go back. When you say you lead with Mac, what does that mean?
That means that if you want to grow your business on the Mac platform, and that's your preferred platform, then we're the MSP that can help deliver that for you.
Okay, and then obviously you have Mac experts, correct?
Yes, we do have Mac experts. We groom people from different areas within the Apple industry to come and work for us.
Okay. Of your tech support that you have in the Mac platform, not Windows, on the Mac platform, yeah, right. What do you see in your field and with the Mac systems like is the most troublesome thing that users have?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times they aren't properly managing their environment. And so they're delivering systems out to users and not fully being aware of what their exposure is because they don't really understand how to manage those Mac systems.
I understand what you mean by that. But for folks who are watching this, when you say manage those systems, what does that mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We have to take things into consideration for security purposes, from having an experience when you onboard new employees, and to making sure that you have full ownership of your devices and the data that flows through them. And that's what we're providing to our customers, the ability to have that peace of mind with their Apple systems and their employees using them.
So then when a user or a company or an individual comes to you and says, I have Mac, I don't need to worry about that because it's all synchronizing to my iCloud account. Do you get that a lot?
We do get that a lot. That's a great one. And what usually tends to happen for us is we lead with MDM. And mobile device management is the cornerstone of what really delivers that Apple experience. There's many out there. We vetted the ones that we prefer to use.
Sure.
But absolutely, that's one of those things that we're talking about is really the difference maker when it talks about Apple experiences.
So does that mean people cannot use iCloud?
No, they can absolutely use iCloud. Right? They can. Most organizations will prefer to use 365 or Google.
Okay.
Right? And so you still want to use those, but you want to be able to manage that device. Ever heard of that part where you get an activation lock?
Yeah.
Everybody knows they got to go back into the Apple store and they got to get that resolved. MDM resolves that without that.
Okay.
And then on top of it, anybody ever lose a device?
Well,
that's the other thing.
I think everyone loses devices, right?
So of course, with MDM, we can make sure that it's configured and you can actually have the sanctity of knowing it's locked remotely and made available back.
Okay. So that's MacBooks and Mac systems. Excuse me. Now we say people losing devices, which gave me an idea, right?
Yeah.
Most people have an iPhone.
That's correct.
And most people have connected to the iCloud, and most people have their data syncing between the two.
Yeah.
What happens if they lose their iPhone?
That's a great one. I'll give you even an example.
Okay.
How about this one? We actually had a customer that lost an iPhone in New York City. Next thing you know, we had the New York NYPD giving us a phone call, right? Because it said right on top of it, please call this number. And we were able to recover the device and back to its user with no problems whatsoever.
So your MDM platform also works on iPhones. That's what I'm hearing you say, right?
Sir. Yes, it does.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I like that. But then the other question I have to ask is, what about Windows?
Of course. And like traditional MSPs, we do support Windows environments, and we have an RMM in place in order to deliver that.
Sure.
Because again, it's about IT, not just about Apple only.
Sure.
And so many environments have hybrid environments. In fact, we even support other MSPs so they can support Apple with our type of flavor.
Okay. There's a lot of MSPs in the United States. A lot.
Yes.
Not a lot focus on the Apple product. But a lot of MSPs do both as Apple as well as Windows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're a MSP out of Utah, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
What about 215 Tech makes you guys special, or what makes you different?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what also makes us different is not only are we there to support the customer, we're there to support other MSPs, we're out there to support the community, right? And ideally, what we want to do is we want to deliver the ultimate experience so that owners can sleep at night, that users are productive, right? And that people are making the money and achieving the goals they want to achieve.
Yeah.
And that's what we stand for.
And that's what you obviously dedicate yourself to, right?
Yes, sir.
And then do you have a training section or a training department that can help users with this?
Yeah, absolutely. Within our own capabilities, we help train our constituents and become better at their businesses. On top of it, we even sell MDM for other MSPs, and we train them on how to use it.
Okay.
So those are some of those other extras that we deliver on the training side.
Okay, fantastic. I know that, I'm in the tech field as well, so I know how the tech field works, right?
Yeah.
I often get calls from people, Mac users a lot of the time as well. Graphic designers actually use a lot of Mac systems. And one of the things I hear all the time, I want your opinion on it, is that my system's not working properly, or it's not running fast enough, or it's lagging, or it's taking forever to open a program. For the folks who are watching now or in the future, what is one step that they can do without having to call an MSP? What is one thing that they can do to eliminate that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say start off with looking at About My Mac, right? If I go into the About section, I'll know what version I'm actually running.
Okay.
That'd probably be the first start, because if you're running deprecated technology, obviously Apple now has gone into its own silicon, right? That's a good place to start, because we all know that software is upgraded.
Okay.
Your hardware has to upgrade with it.
So you're saying update the software.
Update the software.
Okay.
But also you might have to update your hardware.
What does that mean?
That means there's a stop to the Apple Store. Not what everybody wants to hear.
Okay, no, absolutely not. So so I have an old Mac, I have an old processor.
Yes.
All right. You saying that I can't update the hardware, I stop at the Mac store, does that mean I'm buying a new Mac?
It's possible. You're either buying a new Mac.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of people as well, and they try run some of these latest version software, and the Mac says this software is not compatible with this version of a Mac, and they have to go buy a new Mac.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, and we laugh about this, but at the association, our CXO has been in that situation. He's actually called me up and said, "Hey, Dave, I need the software. I need it to be installed." And I say, "Well, you can't do it. Your Mac is 10 years old. It's not going to happen anymore."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Well, can't I get around it?" So, well, no, you can't.
No. In fact, traditionally, if you're buying Apple Care with your systems, that's probably a good indicator about that time when you should start considering at the end of your Apple Care term.
Will Apple Care actually help you replace that system?
In the event of damage, right? Yes, it would. And in fact, they've expanded Apple Care Plus to also even include theft of items.
Sure.
So you have every opportunity to get those.
One of the other things I also hear about a Mac system, and I know we're focusing on Mac a lot because that's your specialty, right?
Yes, sir.
We can go into Windows all day long, but one thing I hear about Macs, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is how do I upgrade the system resources?
Oh,
Is that possible? I know it's not possible with everything. I get that, but like on a MacBook Pro, is that even possible?
yeah. So when it really comes down to, Apple's very diligent about releasing updates when it comes down to the software platform. Going to everything is really built into the system itself, and so it's very hard to upgrade hardware, right?
Okay.
But the software platform, yes, when updates are released, update in time. Generally, those have been vetted out, and that's what's going to help run your systems a lot smoother.
Okay. So someone who is like looking at a Mac right now, I go to the Mac store right now. What, in your opinion and your experience, do you say is a good Mac system I should be looking at?
Yeah, it depends on the quality of work you look to do. If you're one who's very high intensive
Sure.
on the resources that you use, well, you're going to probably go with a MacBook Pro,
Okay.
and you're looking probably at the latest chipset where they're working with the M3.
Sure.
Otherwise, myself, probably one of those guys that uses a MacBook Air.
Okay.
Doing a lot of that email and surfing and that
For
kind
travel,
of stuff
though,
for
right?
travel, though.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely. And so weighs even lighter than most other systems out there. So it's very convenient and
Okay.
has the horsepower I need.
We're going to finish off in a minute here, but before we do close, people who are going to be watching this now or in the future, if you could say anything to your audience right now, what would that be?
Absolutely. Look, the people that are coming to work for you are looking to have what works for them. So whether it's Apple, Microsoft, find the right MSP that works for you and can deliver the services that you need.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Well, everyone, thanks for listening in today. Ed from 215 Tech, specialists in Mac. They also support Windows. So if you're in Utah or anywhere in the country, if you need help with Mac or any one of those other systems, please reach out to him. They're a great resource. He's here with us at the CompTIA